And we are live. Sorry, we were talking fantasy football. It's that time of year, folks. So
it's the season.
It is the season. It is not just sign pointing season. It's gonna be football season.
Yeah. You know, fantasy football is the gift that keeps on giving, Clark.
So wow, starting off hot, starting off fresh, Jamie. Hello, welcome. Thank you for joining us. This is Total Spotfest. I'm JJ. That's Jamie. That's Austin down there. We are going to get all into it. We got a lot of buildup. All in is really shaping up. All out, not so much.
Yeah, error for sure on that one, dude.
It got and match. It's like I'm still praying that they do something crazy, which we know they won't, but whatever. So hey, thank you for watching, thank you for listening, thank you for joining us. If you are live, hop in the live chat. As always, Jamie is going to be dropping movie quotes. If anybody can guess the correct number, you'll get a pinned comment and potentially a very crisp virtual high five from Jamie.
100%. And if you could even name the movie that I'm doing, that'd even be cooler.
Yeah,
it'd be a lot cooler.
He's got a movie. We know the movie, so it's like this should make it easier for Austin and I to count. But thank you guys for joining us. Thank you for watching. As always, you can follow us on Twitter or X or whatever the shit it's called now, at Total Spotfest. Austin Reddick is at Reddick Rules. Austin, how has your week been, my friend?
It's been pretty all right. Nice and cool over here in Wichita, because we usually like to kick off talking about the weather. Yeah, man, it's been a pretty solid week so far.
No house systems break or pipes burst or any of that, you know?
Not yet. It's been all quiet around here. I haven't had to shell out hundreds of dollars to fix anything, so made the week even better.
And you're wifeless, so it's like you legit got a bachelor pad going on right now.
Yeah. The wife is in LA for Wild taping. She gets back on Sunday, and me and the wiener dog are holding down the fort.
I can see it. I know exactly what's going on. It's Austin, the wiener dog, in like a 70-degree house doing nothing but Baldur's Gate.
Pretty much. Yeah. Great.
So are you playing Baldur's Gate on PC or PS5?
PC, yeah, because it doesn't launch for PS5 until September 6th.
That's correct. I have it pre-ordered. I also have Mortal Kombat 1 pre-ordered.
Oh, nice. Dude, Baldur's Gate 3 is so much fun. And then, yeah, like, Heidi will usually play on the PS5 downstairs, so I play on the PC in my office because we usually play stuff together. So I bought a PS5 and I've played it like 3 times. She gets a lot of use out of it.
Jamie is extremely pro console.
Yes, I tried to PC it. I just can't, man. I can't get into it. Like, I have a badass gaming system. Nope. I tried. I'm like, this blows.
That's fair. I play a decent amount of MMOs, which I like on PC, but pretty much everything else. Like I play NBA 2K. Uh, I'll play Fight Forever. Like I play all that on the PS5.
Yeah.
But yeah, what we usually end up playing is like MMOs between me, the wife, and like a couple of our friends. So it's easier to sit up at my desk and play it. But most other games, yeah, I feel you. I'd rather just sit on the couch and play on a console.
Yeah. I'm pretty much, I'm a 50-50 split. So I do a lot of retro gaming, and so with that I've got tons of emulation going on, of course. Nice. So that naturally is my PC, my computer, right? You know, I'm through RetroPie. But then I do a lot on my Switch, and then I've got my Xbox in the front room. I should be getting my new Xbox here in a week or two, as a matter of fact, because I am ready for Starfield. And I know Jamie thinks I'm nuts. And I swear to God, this isn't a video game podcast. We will get to wrestling. Starfield's gonna be great. I have faith. I know it's gonna be buggy and everything, but whatever. It's gonna be great. I know it.
No Man's Sky. That's all I gotta say.
No Man's Sky is a fantastic game. Now
I'm 50-50 on
8 years later.
Right now.
Say what?
I'm 50-50 on Starfield right now. I might end up playing.
Well,
the only reason why I wouldn't is because like Diablo 4 just came out. We started playing that. We jumped right into Baldur's Gate 3. Like I've been burning through some games. Baldur's Gate 3 is gonna take me forever to beat because like you can just explore everything.
I just can't see. I'm not an RPG guy, and I was never into D&D. I never got into D&D. So I tried watching some Baldur's Gate. I have no idea what the hell's going on, and it's just
if you're not into that kind of stuff, it'd probably bore the shit out of you.
Well, we don't want to bore the shit out of our viewers who are here to talk about wrestling. So, this Nerd Hour is brought.
Today,
I don't know. The different class of nerds. So we could talk about fantasy football, video games, and wrestling. Yeah. Let's do it all.
We could blend them and talk about WrestleMania, the arcade game, the greatest wrestling game ever made.
False. I will fight you on that.
You going Royal Rumble, the original?
No.
You're going No Way Out.
WCW, NWO, World Tour. You can wrestle as Hayabusa. Best damn game on Nintendo 64. Do not care.
I'm partial to, just because it's the one that we played in my fraternity. We had like pay-per-views and we did the whole 9 yards. WrestleMania 2000, right?
That was good.
I would probably, if I had to actually call something the greatest, I would go WrestleMania 2000 or No Mercy. But WrestleMania the arcade game was one of the most fun games I ever played.
Oh, it was. I remember
you could be Doink and just joy buzzer people. It was great.
Yeah, the bowling alley that my parents had league at back in Illinois when I was a kid had that one, and they had the OG Royal Rumble arcade game.
Nice.
And Royal Rumble, you could play as Macho, because Macho was OP in the arcade Royal Rumble. I mean, even Hogan couldn't beat Macho. It was fantastic.
Yeah, that was a sweet arcade game.
I loved it, but again, WCW, NWO, World Tour. You had fake Sting on there, real Sting. You had all of that, but Hayabusa, I was legit undefeated. And all my friends can tell you, I was undefeated in that game when I played as Hayabusa. Never lost, never got pinned, and I tapped everybody out in a game that you don't tap people out. And I tapped him out due to his damn armbar.
Ooh, there's a shocker there. Jamie doing submission moves on everybody in a wrestling game.
Hey!
Because if there's anything you guys know about us, is that we are committed to the bit.
Committed to the bit. I've been committed to the bit for 30 effing years.
Let's not talk about age. Let's talk about wrestling. So, what you guys think of Collision this past Saturday?
Saturday.
Well, I don't even know what
Saturday.
I did not see Collision. I was wrestling on Saturday night.
You were wrestling on Saturday.
I was watching him wrestle on Saturday.
He was there.
Yeah, before you talk about so Jamie told me, unfortunately I couldn't make it. I had stuff to do with my dad, which apparently was on Saturday, not Sunday, but whatever. But Jamie said you had a great time. How did you enjoy? Because this is their first actual show on the promotion, right, Austin?
Yes, that was their first show. And it was, so the guy that runs it, Billy Simmons, like he was co-running this other company, XWE, and 99% of the talent is XWE talent as well. So it was like HCW's first show, but like a roster that all worked together and stuff like that. But yeah, it was like a real cool building. It was at the Leavenworth local hotel, which is like this like brick building in downtown Leavenworth. Real cool building, real nice on the inside. Nice crowd out there, and it was a good time.
So I just want to ask you this question. I'm waiting. I waited to ask you this question. Did you hear my daughter yell "lion tamer" to you while you're wrestling?
I did. I did.
I made her like, there's a quiet. I'm like, anytime there's a quiet spot, you gotta yell "lion tamer" to Austin. Okay? She's like, okay. I'm like, I hit her one time. I'm like, do it now, lion tamer. I'm like, yes, proud dad moment.
I did hear the lion tamer, and like at the time, I don't think I was like looking in the direction or something. And like I didn't put two and two together, and as soon as you started saying that, I was like, "Oh, that's why that happened."
Carries over.
It was awesome.
See, you keep saying you're gonna stop when you get a lion tamer for a victory in front of your eyes. I don't know, because now you're spreading it to the rest of your family. So I feel like you're setting up to.
That's fine.
Have it.
That's fine. That could be their thing.
This is his plan.
I have something in the bank. Yes, of course. I have something in the bank. So once it actually happens in front of my eyes live, I see somebody tap out to a lion tamer. I have another move ready to be yelled. And it's not a submission. I've already promised you that.
Well, regardless. So they got another show coming up.
Then I'll go to another submission.
Then you'll go back.
Which I already have in the bank.
I know what your second submission is going to be, more than likely. So their next show is down in Wichita.
What do you think it is? Hold on. What do you think that's going to be?
Cloverleaf.
Kinda. Clover Tamer. Obviously, we asked for a Clover Tamer.
Their next show is down in am I correct? It's down in Wichita. I am running away from this, Jamie. I'm sorry. Man.
Yeah, so they're running September, October, November, December in Wichita, and I think in November they're going back to Leavenworth as well.
In the 11th, I believe is what they. No, you said Thanksgiving, like after Thanksgiving, right?
Yeah,
Jamie?
it's closer to Thanksgiving. I thought they said like 20 something. Couldn't really hear the announcer, man. Like I loved it, but the announcer, like he's like. It's like, got you, man. Like, got nothing. Had no clue what anybody's names were throughout the whole thing.
I asked Jamie. I was like, "Well, who does Stormy wrestle?" I don't know. I couldn't hear her name.
two girls who can wrestle better than Britt Baker, but I digress.
Oh, that's a low bar. And you had
I noticed that they could actually grab an arm. I don't know if anybody noticed that was not happening tonight. Not full on shitting on her, but I am.
Oh, no worry. There's plenty of time to distribute the shit. So, Lucha Libre and Last was also on Friday night. You guys had another wonderful show from all accounts, from everything I saw online. So,
Triple L is like, it's just kind of gotten to the point where it's. Nick Gosser, the guy that runs it, can literally like advertise a guest appearance now, and people will just buy a ticket knowing it's gonna be someone good.
Yeah,
like those crowds are dialed in, and it's if you're ever around Denver, plan that trip around when there's a Triple L show, because it's one of like the most fun and unique pro wrestling experiences you'll ever get.
It's a great way to say it. I remember when we were there, we got in line, right? We're there about an hour before the show starts. We're in line, making friends, and one of typical some marks here and there. But the chick that was right in front of us that we were talking to, not a wrestling fan, like at all. But she's been to like every Triple O show for the past 3 years, it's just the experience. And it's like, it's such a great,
its own thing.
Yeah.
Like it's at its core a wrestling show, but you've got comedians doing sets every couple of matches and then sitting in for live commentary, which normally I hate live commentary on wrestling shows, but it's just comedians cracking jokes the whole time. It's awesome. It's like, it's its own like unique thing.
Absolutely.
100%.
And fuck Rick
Steiner. I had so much damn fun at the last one. Yeah, I want to go back. And you wrestled Simon Gotch. How was wrestling one half of the Vaudevillains?
It was fun. I had a good time. Like I wasn't super familiar with like anything he had done since the Vaudevillains. So I went on YouTube to like find a match or something. And I had to like scroll through 15 shoot videos before I got to a Simon Gotch match. Because apparently he just like really likes talking shit about people on the internet.
That's awesome.
Yeah, he was a nice guy, super cool. And
that's cool.
He's a guy that a lot of indie wrestlers will like send him matches and stuff, and he'll watch him for him stuff. So he's like real nice guy, does a lot of cool stuff for people. But yeah, it was fun to work him, and somehow my lungs didn't explode in the Denver altitude, so that was nice too.
That's always a victory.
Yes.
The only thing I've known about Simon Gotch since his time in WWE is he got jacked.
Yeah.
Like he was smaller, like he was toned or whatever, but now that dude is ripped. Like
Yeah,
more shredded than Julian Saub, man.
English is like a taller dude. I just always assumed Gotch was like a smaller guy, but he's like 2 inches taller than me. Like he's a pretty decent sized dude.
Maybe it's because he was paired up with Matt Renwald, and maybe they.
Yeah, it was like an optical
the packaging.
That dude's like that dude is not a short man.
Right. Well, definitely check out Triple L. If you're down in Wichita or in or near Leavenworth, near Kansas City here, I've got some other options to check out. I'm excited. Jamie and I talking about making a wrestling trip coming up here too, because he's got school starting and we got a little window of opportunity. So we might go to Iowa, we might go to St. Louis. We're not sure. We're still throwing that around there, but I'm definitely going to be there. Now that I know it's ahead of time, I'm planning it. November for sure going to be there to see y'all in Leavenworth.
Nice.
So. Okay.
Yeah, Wrestling Revolver is got the freaking Motor City Machine Guns.
I know, and a ridiculous death match as always. Their Wrestling Revolver is a solid promotion. Sammy does a great job there. They just like I don't know of a bad card they've had since we started paying attention to them. Honestly, they're doing more Columbus shows, so we can't make them. But whatever. All right. Well, let's talk about.
So
go ahead.
I'd like to open this one because I know I have thoughts, and I know you probably do too. But I want to throw this out there. Lacey Evans is no longer in WWE. How do you feel about that, and where's she gonna end up in your mind, gentlemen's?
I mean, she's not ending up anywhere. I think she's just done wrestling.
I can't see her going anywhere else. Like maybe Impact, but no, I think she's done. That doesn't surprise me. I mean, I don't know. She never really took me as a wrestler, even in NXT.
Okay.
You're
expecting more of a reaction. We're both just kind of like, meh.
Yeah.
I tried to muster something beyond no comment.
Yeah. So of course, then I will carry this segment, because this is what's gonna go on here, because I already know we'll spark something with this. Not necessarily a hot take, but she is a decent wrestler. Okay, she is decent. She's gorgeous. She is better than some of the wrestlers that we see every Wednesday and Saturday. I could see her making the jump to AEW.
Because why not? Just put another body to muddle the shitty booking waters.
She can actually talk halfway decent.
With what time? We've got plenty of good talkers. We've got plenty of great women wrestlers, and they just don't have the airtime.
Yeah, like who's tuning in or buying an extra ticket because you signed Lacey Evans? Like
Mercedes Moné.
I
yes.
mean,
and not only that, like a bunch of your audience just doesn't like Lacey Evans in general to begin with. So you're already like at your floor is annoying some of your audience, and your ceiling is probably below that. It doesn't seem like it would work out for any parties involved.
I don't see. I could see Tony doing that. I'm not gonna lie.
Mm-hmm.
I could 100% see him doing that, but I don't see the point of it because
I
it's
agree.
another body.
So this is where I was gonna bring it home. Was I believe Tony, like we've said this before, he's out of touch on the women's division. Like he's got so much damn talent, doesn't know what to do with it. Like period.
Yep.
Like his booking is god awful. Exhibit tonight. But he could easily do that because he thinks that, oh, I'll throw a name that people recognize and they'll fix the problem. No, better booking will fix the problem. We've talked about this a million times. I liked Lacey Evans. I know you hated her. I liked her. I liked her gimmick. I did like the old Bombshell one when she was NXT better than what it became when she's on the main roster. I liked her NXT gimmick a lot better.
I'll give you, it was definitely better.
Yeah. But yeah, no, she doesn't. She doesn't move the needle, but I can see them doing it because they are out of touch, and that's where I was going with it.
You know, and it's like a broader stroke. We've hammered on this so much. You know, I know all of you are loyal, long-term viewers. You're going to be like, oh god, talking about this again. But yeah, you know, I mean, that's why they brought in Madison Rayne, right? You know, they brought her in to be kind of a little bit on air, but really to kind of help the women's division backstage, right? And you know, they brought in other people that are supposed to have, you know, there's no fruits of that labor that anybody can see, though, because at the end of the day, it's Tony's show. Tony books what he wants. Yeah.
Yeah, like I don't see him even thinking she would be that known or a name. Like Tony Khan's on the internet. There's not fans out there like tweeting a storm right now. I hope Lacey Evans goes to AEW. Like the only thing you'd probably see is I hope Lacey Evans just goes away. And it's nobody's calling for it. And even when you had, you know, Ruby leave, like people were calling for it, like, hey, we would like to see her in AEW, but no one's asking for it. And I feel like, well, Tony can be kind of clueless to the women's division and all that. I feel like he would at least have the sense to realize this is not even worth looking into.
He does have a pulse on, you're right, on internet stuff. I mean, he is a director of analytics for the Jaguars. It's his daddy's team, I know. But, you know, he is at his heart a nerd, right? He very much knows that Julia is a big opportunity, and he's working to try and somehow facilitate that. You know, and that's a smart thing, right? Now, if he had the more foresight than just to book a singular match, that'd be great. But it's probably what we'll get. Still, I get to see Julia in AEW ring, and that makes JJ very happy. It's just like you mentioned last week or the week before, Jamie. You know, there's like the whole, like when we talk about the Jericho and the commissioner idea, right? You know, they need something like that, but they also need something more than just a public figure on the TV show. They need some other people involved here. Not talking WWE creative room bullshit, but they need some other people to have a little more pull than just running whatever it is they're running right now. Because the one knock that non-AEW fans have is still storytelling, right? You guys put on these banger matches, but AEW has a long-term storytelling. It's like, well, you're not wrong there, okay? And the women's division, yeah, you're not wrong there either. Need some other people to help out. That's my fix.
Yeah. So to just put a bow on it before we get to our next awesome segment is like legit. Scott D'Amore, right? He's the one over Impact, right? Scott D'Amore.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Scotty doesn't know how to do bad booking for women, like legit. And then you have AEW over here who just struggles with it. You know, like I don't get it.
I don't know, because same amount of time, they have just as many like big long-term rivalry stories going on, right? But they have like 3 women's matches and like 2 women's segments every week. NXT for years has always been the best. We always talked about this, you know, like the old black and gold NXT, right? It was the best women's wrestling out there, right? When they had Io and Lacey and Bianca, and I can keep going. And even before that, when you had Bailey, Charlotte, and all, it's not. It can be done. It's not hard. It doesn't have to take away from your other stuff. That's I don't know. That's the thing.
Yeah, it just takes a little bit of effort. Like they're almost there. They're giving us a pretty cool like international 4-way at All In for the women's title. Now just fill in the blanks along the way a little bit better to make that mean more. It doesn't take much work. Not to like jump the gun on the women's segment, but you did 4 qualifier matches, and it was very obvious who the 4 people that were going to win were going to be.
The whole time.
So just announce the 4, and then have some like matches between them, and build a little bit of a story reading on, and we're in a much better place. Like the end result's there. They're not just doing like a throwaway singles that's going to be 8 minutes and a DQ finish or something, but the exact same amount of TV time could be a lot better.
Which is why I wanted to talk about Collision, because I know you didn't see Collision, Austin. I don't know if you saw Collision this week or not, Jamie, but
no, I didn't. I forgot to tape it.
Collision was pretty solid. Once again, I really enjoy Collision, the formatting of it, the feel of it. Like you said, it's almost like a different show. It's that throwback a little bit, but even with the women's stuff. So the women got about 12 minutes, give or take, and it was a tag team match with Diamante and Mercedes Martinez versus Willow Nightingale and Chris Statlander. Okay, see some different faces. You've got some stories you've been building on here that are intertwined into this match. Plus, you had a 4-minute, kind of backstage interview segment with Toni Storm, which was fantastic, and with her throwing a shoe at Lexi Nair. It was great. So I mean, alone, there's already
who throws a shoe? Who throws a shoe? Honestly.
Toni Storm, that's who. And it was great. Lexi Nair's fantastic too. She was very skittish at the beginning. She's becoming a much better backstage interviewer. So kudos to her. But this show alone had about 3 times the amount of TV time given to women in general, right? Mm-hmm. Plus, they did other stuff. They talked about Thunder Rosa. They kind of talked about her, just as stuff was going on. But it's like, it's like you almost have the workings of a workable women's division on your secondary show.
Yeah, it doesn't take much. Like, just tie a few strings together, just make one segment, point in the direction of a match here, point to this over there, and we're rocking and rolling.
It doesn't take that much. So that's all I wanted to say about Collision. Because it was pretty good, though. Joe murdered Andre Everett, and then bitched and whined. You yelled out at CM Punk because he hasn't answered him for his challenge. And at the end of the night, he kind of got involved in the trios title match by choking out CM Punk and dragging him over while being choked out the guardrail outside from the crowd. Nice. That was good. So we're definitely getting that match at All In. It's gonna be great.
That's my favorite Joe. That Joe. Mm-hmm. That Joe they have on TV right now, by far, is the best Joe.
Absolutely.
Is the Joe that was basically the Joe at the end of his ROH at the beginning of his TNA run?
Yes.
The Joe's going to kill you, Joe. It's fantastic.
Yeah, and it's like it's evergreen too. He can just run the same cycle with an infinite number of baby faces as long as you want, and that's their challenge for the next month. You got to survive Samoa Joe, and then you just move on to other shit. It's perfect.
Yep.
He's the modern era Bob Holly.
Yeah.
Oh,
exactly.
Think of it that way.
Very, very nice callback there. Plus, we got a little Miro. It's looking like it's going to be Miro and Powerhouse at All Out. So
that'll be solid. I like the sound of that.
Matches.
Golf clap.
Yep. Oh my God! And so that should be a fun match because Powerhouse improved loads, and we stand Miro.
Mm-hmm. Always and forever. You know what we also stand for?
What do we also stand for?
Knowledge.
I love me some knowledge. I love getting some knowledge. I love getting it from those close friends of mine too.
Me too. You know what? I really appreciate it as somebody who can't really grow facial hair all that well. I love getting it from somebody who's got a magnificent mustache.
That's all right. I can't grow head hair very well. So
Hey,
like this
same.
is all I got.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, it is time. Buckle your seatbelts. We are going to go into Austin Reddick's stash of knowledge. There's a slight delay. We have to.
Yeah, like there it is. Oh, that's dope.
JJ worked in Photoshop for the past couple of days. Not Photoshop, but yeah, I whipped up. I whipped up a few things here. So if you notice too, your little logo is Denver Nuggets colored theme.
Even better. That is phenomenal. Well done, sir. Well done. Yeah. So for this week's stash of knowledge, this is based off something I saw on the internet last week that Jamie Hayter was talking about. But it's just a friendly reminder, don't feed the trolls. Like they don't exist if you don't pay attention to them. So I think everyone saw the Hayter tweet with very valid points about why do you weirdos care about ratings and things like that. And I think just because we are on wrestling Twitter and we enjoy pro wrestling and this is our thing, we forget that dipshits on the internet are not unique to wrestling. It's not a wrestling problem. It's an internet problem. The people with no actual people to share their stupid opinions with just put it on the Twitter machine or the X machine or whatever they're calling it these days. And you don't have to listen. You don't have to give their opinions any credibility at all. Like they're just like, you can just look the other way. They don't warrant a response. So don't feed the trolls, especially in wrestling, because while it's not unique to wrestling, there are some really bad wrestling trolls. But I mean, that's being said, it's any movie you like, any game you like. I mean, go read the even Baldur's Gate 3, which is widely regarded as one of the greatest games of all time. There are dipshits on the internet complaining about a million different things because they have no one else to complain to. So that's the stash of knowledge for this week. It's a little tip to keep in your pocket. Don't feed the trolls.
Yeah, fantastic. I mean, the IWC, it could be a good place, right? You know, it's a good place. You know, there's rallying cries. You talked about like Ruby, Ruby. You know, when she got released, there was a big rallying cry online and love and support for her. But there's also, there's some dark corners. And I think Steph DeLander's interview, like you said, was fantastic because, who cares? Like we've long said this. It's like, we don't care if you like WWE more than AEW. Watch what you want to watch. Have fun with it.
And it's this weird thing where people will see a shitty opinion and like feel they need to go say something and defend it. And if you'll even look, there's a little heart that tell you how many other people share this shitty opinion. It's usually at 0. Yet someone's got to click the little chat box and let them know that, hey, you're wrong. Like you just took the bait, man. That's just don't talk to them.
Don't feed the trolls.
There's no real consequence of that shitty opinion on the internet if you don't pay attention. You've just given it.
Well, that's fantastic. Jamie, you have anything else you want to add here?
As somebody who loves all wrestling and all wrestling types, except for the E for the most part, just because like I'm just sick of the storylines. Honestly, it's more theater than it is wrestling. I love wrestling. I love everything about it. I love it when we uplift each other. And like one of the coolest things I love seeing is when I'm on Twitter and I see somebody, a wrestler tweet something and other wrestlers tweet about that same tweet or, say, oh, look at this. This looks awesome. Or I want to punch your face in, stuff like that. Like to show each other love, and honestly to try to get booked, but which is even better for me. Like I want to see that match just like they want to have it. But you know what I mean? Like it's uplifting in that way. And like, fuck the trolls, dude. Like to your point, like if you don't like it, then get out of here. Like that's all there is to it. We ain't got time for all that. The world is crazy. It is as it is. Like, dude, get away from your keyboard if you're just going to be a hostile dick.
Yeah, it's always wild to me to try and think of how like lonely and sad you got to be that you think the
Right.
world will hear how much you hate the Miz or whoever else it may be that
Yeah.
you're talking
Of
about
all
it.
things, right? To yell and scream
Yeah,
about that.
yeah. Like, what you literally have nothing better to do. You could watch something you enjoy. You could just go outside, go make a friend somewhere, learn a hobby, fly a kite or something, man. Like it's it's not that serious that you have to let everyone know that you didn't enjoy something.
Oh, that's
You will be okay.
wise words this week in Stash of Knowledge. So thank you for that, Austin. That's a very, very good point. And yeah, go touch grass, y'all. So anyway, let's get back here. I want to do it one more time. There's the thing. It's doing the stuff. Yay! So,
Dash of knowledge.
all right, you want to talk about Dynamite?
Do you guys want to talk about Dynamite?
Or do you just
Because I want to talk about Dynamite.
You want to talk about one match, I know for sure. Let's talk about Dynamite.
All right. It was a setup show. This was the quintessential setup show. 100%. And I don't know why. If I'm coming through a little laggy, I apologize. But all right. So this show. All right. I'm just gonna go here. Why in the hell are we having Chris Jericho going to go up against Will Ospreay? Low point of the night.
That was
that
my
was your
initial.
low point of the night?
I talked about that last week as well. I think we were talking about the rumored matches.
Yeah, we were
The
begging
more I
for
think
Ospreay.
about-
We're begging for Ospreay, Omega 3.
Yeah. We're begging for Ospreay Omega 3, but I think the trios match we're getting with Omega instead, I would rather see that. And
I
so
like
if you're doing that, what do you do with Ospreay? And also, what do you do with Jericho? Because while we've kind of grown tired of seeing Chris Jericho on our TV in 2023, he's still a very popular star in pro wrestling. And if you're running a show at Wembley, you're not going to not book Chris Jericho on.
Yeah.
He's
That's
like,
fair.
your UK fans would, at least a good deal of them would probably be disappointed if they bought a ticket to AEW coming to this big stadium show and they didn't see Chris Jericho wrestle. It's less frequent over there for them. So at that point, what else? I mean, there's other things you could do, but it kind of gives Ospreay, the hometown guy, a big important feeling match, working one of the biggest, most popular stars in wrestling. It's not a particularly great showcase of Ospreay's abilities, but at the same time, we've seen Ospreay go out there and have bangers and Spotfest and stuff. Let's see what he does in there with Chris Jericho, who can't do that, but can still do like a very other entertaining style of wrestling. It's not ideal, but I kind of get it.
It's a match they were supposed to have a few years ago before COVID hit, and I get that. It's kind of a rite of passage of sorts, is a little bit what you're saying too for Ospreay, right?
Yeah.
I'm more okay with it now than I have been before, even though I'm not super excited, just because of the potential for what we could have for Ospreay. But then again, we have seen that already this year. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, it still would have been great to see him in there with Omega or anyone else that can go in that style of match, but I'm fine with him and Jericho. Not super excited about it, but I'm buying that pay-per-view either way, so
That's
Tony
true.
wins.
Yeah, Tony wins. Yeah, I'm pissed. I think I was more pissed after the Jericho, no one makes me bleed my own blood, freaking promo he did.
He literally almost said that verbatim. I was like dying laughing when he said that.
And literally, did anybody else notice the lady who was supposed to be cleaning off the blood not make contact at all?
Yes.
Like she's just like doing this. It's like, hey, come on now, you can touch. Or does he have like no one touches me? You know, like come on, man. I'm just waiting for him to like just snap his finger and like his fitness constantly hairy Michelle shows up. Like that's where I'm at with him. Like it was very, very White Goodman. But no, I get it. I get what you're saying. It's softening the blow a little bit, but it's one of those things like I know how fast this race is gonna be with these two cars. I want to see that race 1,000 times. But now you're throwing in this old dark horse car. It's like, do I want to watch that race? Do I though? I kind of do, but since I'm already there, I guess I'm going to watch it regardless.
Yeah, and so that's kind of what it boils down to. On a show where there's plenty to be hyped about, this one specific thing, its floor is, do I kind of want to see this? I guess. Okay, I can settle for that if there's one match that like I don't really care, but I'm not gonna turn away while it's on, or I'm not gonna like, get up and go microwave some popcorn or something while it's happening. It's fine. They had to put him somewhere. It'll be interesting to see Ospreay like work a different style match. It's also kind of weird though that they just turned Chris Jericho into a bit of a baby face, but he's wrestling Ospreay in the UK. It's a lot of weird stuff going on with it.
I don't take that into account, to be honest with you here, because it didn't matter who's what. Ospreay in this big of an event in UK is going to be. It's like Punk in Chicago. Doesn't matter what he is or what they are. He gets the cheers. He's going to get the cheers.
But if you don't turn Jericho until after the pay-per-view, you can have him just straight up work as a heel, and it makes more sense. Not that Jericho hasn't been kind of weirdly wavering back and forth on a week-to-week basis for some time, but it doesn't make a huge difference, but it would probably be a little bit better for Jericho to like still be a bit of a heel going into that match.
I think at the end of the day, though, like you said, the match is just kind of like, okay, it's their match. Yeah. So anyway,
hopefully it's not super long.
Hopefully so. I'm excited to see the UK, the IWGP United Kingdom Championship being brought out. Did you guys see that? Okay.
Oh,
so, yeah. Whatever the New Japan show was last week, after it was over, they did like the backstage interview things, you know. So here's Ospreay sitting on there, and he's going to town about how he's the best ever, hold the IWGP belt, and not Moxley, not Omega, not Ibushi, not just going through the whole rails. And he goes, all this for a title, for something I have no. Hey, Heather's here. I didn't think Heather was going to make it. Heather actually went to the show live tonight and got to see Jay White. Like she didn't think she was going to. She got to see abs up close. So GG's to Heather. But no, so he was going to town about, he has no attachment to the United States, basically. So he takes the belt and says, you know what? Give that back to the guys in the office. And he opens up a bag, and here comes the exact same belt, but with a United Kingdom flag, and it says United Kingdom World Champion. So he's got a IWGP UK Championship.
Love it.
I love when they do stuff like that.
So good.
It's always such a nice little touch.
So, hey, how about we do this? We're going to go negative, positive, negative, positive. Okay, we're going to keep it as a roller coaster, if you will. So let's go with a positive.
Okay.
And let's go with that Orange Cassidy Wheeler Yuta match.
Let's go with that.
Damn. I mean,
Wheeler.
I'm convinced Orange Cassidy doesn't have bad matches, and this new era of Wheeler Yuta doesn't have bad matches either.
Best Wheeler.
So you knew this was what this was going to be.
Mm-hmm.
And this match was amazing. And my most favorite part of the entire match is when Orange Cassidy straight stole the paradigm shift and did it on Wheeler Yuta. That made my heart so happy.
The fact that he stares down Moxley, turns around, and then does a paradigm shift on Wheeler Yuta. Mm-hmm. That was fantastic. Old school heel shit.
Yeah.
Yes.
You're right. Orange Cassidy just doesn't have bad matches anymore. Everything he does is over. The crowd loves it. He finds different ways to kind of hit the same handful of spots, and it's good. I'd still like to see the international title elsewhere.
Me too.
Just because Orange Cassidy doesn't have bad matches, he's going to continue to be over and have good matches without it. So let's toss that and someone else, change it up a little bit.
You saying it's a little predictable when you see an
I
Orange
always enjoy
Cassidy
when
match?
Dynamite kicks off with just a really good match.
Yeah. You say it's a little predictable when you get an Orange Cassidy Ice International match to start a show? Who's going to win that match?
Well, no, I was gonna say it's predictable. I just always enjoy when they started off with like a really good match.
Oh, I gotcha.
But you're not wrong. Like, you kind of knew Yuta wasn't going over here, but still a great match.
Mm-hmm. So after the match, though, that's when the fun happened for me too.
Mm-hmm.
So instantly, the rest of the BCC gets in there. They start wreaking havoc in there. Then here come the best friends. They start getting in there, and they start fighting. And then here comes the Lucha Bros, just walking more, playing with the crowd than actually getting there. But what else? And then here comes Eddie Kingston. Huge pop. That man is arguably the most over man in AEW because his people just relate to the guy. They love him. And they're setting up a stadium stampede match. They bring 3 of whoever they want. And the team is the best friends in Orange Cassidy with the original Death Triangle, if you will, when they were a group of the Lucha Bros and Eddie. I forgot what they called themselves when they were a little.
They didn't call themselves anything. It was just.
Yeah, I don't think they had a name.
They was kind of like Eddie Kingston's family, or I don't remember, but
the Eddie Kingston family that Don Callis stole that too.
EKF, I don't know. Yeah. Stadium Stampede in Wembley in the middle of a pay-per-view. Okay, let's go. I loved Stadium Stampede.
And this, I don't know about y'all, but this caught me by surprise, and it shouldn't have, because they just released Stadium Stampede for Fight Forever. And like should have kind of seen this coming a mile away because they're running a giant stadium show, but I did not see this coming at all.
Who do you guys think are going to be the 3 additional people that the BCC are going to get to join them? Oh, I think we have a guest going to fly in here on his magic carpet and let us know what he thinks.
I got to have it front, so it looks like 2 butt cheeks. All right. Now you can't unsee that now, can you? You can't unsee it.
No. I see butt cheeks with a little feather sticking out of it.
Hey, you can pay for that on certain sites. All right, ladies and gentlemen, the 3 people that will be in this match will be based off of the images that are behind them, because I think it's actual silhouettes of the people.
Okay.
Playing Guess That Pokemon.
He is.
Yes. So based off of what I saw there, I saw a Mr. Black, a Mr. King, and a Mr. Murphy.
So you think it's going to be House of Black?
100% House of Black. As I foretold.
Okay. I don't know who else it could be, honestly. I was trying to think about it because it's like, even the House of Black's a bit random. Honestly, anybody you pair up with the BCC is going to be somewhat fucking random, right?
Yeah. I could see it being House of Black. They do still seem to be doing something with the Acclaimed, and that seems like that might be heading for like 0 Hour. Although I was hoping we'd get not Death Triangle, Andrade. Yeah. I was hoping we'd like that. Did that pay off on Collision in the last week?
Yeah, a couple weeks ago they had the match.
Match.
They had the ladder match with the mask, right? And Andrade won that and won his mask back. But that's kind of just where they left it. So that's basically over. And then the Acclaimed is what they've moved on to now. So
okay, yeah, like I was hoping we were getting to Andrade and Malachi Black in some kind of gimmick. But yeah, now it looks like they're moving on with the Acclaimed. I could see that being 0 Hour because the Acclaimed got to be on that show somewhere. They're one of your more over acts. Like you're not going to go to the UK and not have them. as far as Stadium Stampede, how many Dark Orders are there left?
There's still 4. There's still 3 people in Dark
3.
Order.
I
Ooh,
could
that's a
see Dark
good.
Order.
That's a good angle, though.
I would rather it be Wardlow, Riho, and the Bunny, but Dark Order is my guess.
I would like to see. I think Dark Order is a good one too. Those are both good, very good predictions. There.
And it's like it's like old school AEW too. Like you got some AEW original kind of going on out there. It kind of goes to the draw of this big special event, and it's a giant schmoz. So like you can throw anybody in there.
Well, I'm going with option C, my friend, because I think that it's just it's the BCC. They hate everybody. They just want to beat everybody up, right? So who would they get to actually join up with them? Well, maybe some people that they knew from maybe when they worked in a different company. So I'm thinking like Miro or post WWE guys, right? They get some people that they might have had some back history with. That's who I think they might go for. Or it'll be completely random, like 3 people from Japan out of nowhere show up, right?
I actually gonna change my wish list guess to Jeff Jarrett, Jay Lethal, and Satin saying, "Give me more Jeff Jarrett." I know Heather did not enjoy it, but give me more Jeff Jarrett in silly ass gimmick matches.
Let's transition right to that if you don't mind.
Absolutely.
Well, hold on. Let's put a bow on this because I definitely want to talk about that because I enjoyed the hell out of that match.
Oh, really?
Even though I did because it was terrible. Like that's why.
It was supposed to be like
exactly. But so looking at the image again, there's one guy with like hair slicked back and like there's something there. It could be the Dark Order because like there's one like guy that looks like he doesn't have any hair. Yeah, and then you have a bald guy.
They were semi-involved in the BCC feud like a month ago. They're not that far removed from the whole thing with the Elite and all that.
Right. They're technically heel right now. So they fit that bill.
And it's real easy to just have them show up to the BCC, be like, hey, we're, done being silly. We just want to kick some ass. And Mox being like, all right, we ain't got no one else. Come on, boys.
Or Mox, or they go up to the Dark Order and be like, all right, we've had our issues. Whatever. You guys want to help us beat up some guys? I would love to see that because I'd love to see Mox like initiate trying to make friends, right? That'd be hilarious.
Or just the 3 of the the BCC walks up, just threatens 3 random dudes into being their teammate.
That would be better
right now.
All I know is
I support that.
As long as one of those dudes is Grado. I wish to God we'd get Grado on this show, but
the rumors were Grado and Jeff Jarrett.
Which please.
Which would also be good. I would still like to see Jarrett Stadium Stampede, but I'll watch Jarrett do anything on the pay-per-view.
Jarrett Grado, give me that. All right, so you still want to keep that pin there? Or do you want to move to the shit show that was?
It was a shit show, yes.
Oh, we're gonna be fighting words on that match, so we get to it. Jamie, let's take us where we're going next.
So they had the Texas Chainsaw Massacre video game massacre match thing. And then you had Jeff Jarrett look like not Jeff Jarrett. You had Jeff Hardy looking like he's Latimer from the program after he did roids again. Like he had the makeup back on and everything. He's ready to go. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
You went there. Wow.
Sure she did. You guys know exactly what I'm talking about if you've seen that movie.
I love that movie. It was terrible, but I loved it.
Watch it for every football game. But I like to say this. Oh my God. It was chaos. It was not a good match by any stretch of the imagination.
No.
Probably the best moment out of the entire thing was when the blood got poured onto Jeff Jarrett and Karen Jarrett, and then Brother Zay just turns to the camera, gives a thumbs up, and smiles. I'm like, that's what this match is all about right there. They don't care about anything other than having fun with this, and they absolutely did because it was terrible.
Austin.
Yeah, so I enjoy when pro wrestling is over the top and done well. This is a match that was there because they got a sponsorship from a movie or a video game. I don't actually remember which. I was enjoying the match so much.
Video game.
And I'm not going to play that shit anyway. But so you get approached by this video game, like, we'll give you, you know, some hard-earned American dollars to sponsor this silly ass match. You put two guys that can lose absolutely nothing by being booked in this nonsense in Jeff Jarrett and Jeff Hardy. Like, that's the most interesting thing you could really have either of them doing. And they decide, all right, we are not going to take this seriously at all. This is going to be just a goofy 10 to 15 minutes of bloodbaths and silly table spots. I thought it was done perfectly for what it was. They didn't try and make it good. They just made it silly, and that was enjoyable for me.
Generally speaking, I agree with you 100% about this type of matches. I hated this thing so much. You know, I was like, okay, it's going to be a real shtick gimmick match with a bunch of people and weapons and tables, and Jeff Hardy's going to try and kill himself 3 times. Fine. It's going to be great, right? No. They start off backstage, and I don't know, it just felt really, really, really bad. Like, I know Jamie loves himself some bad horror movies, and he likes to prefers a lot of those more than, you know, high quality horror movies. It felt like a bad horror movie, which I don't enjoy. And I don't know, too much Karen Jarrett from the start, for one. Okay, and too much Karen Jarrett is always a problem in my book, personally. Okay,
I mean, that's fair. That's fair.
I don't know, it just like, oh god, it just, half the match was. And Heather was in our friend Heather, who's in chat right now. She was in the stadium. She was at tonight's show. And she said that people there loathed it. They were all just like, because they didn't see half of it because it was all back under the bleachers for part of it and backstage and whatever. It just, nothing of this match really worked for me. I don't know. I didn't like this at all. Even the Leatherface thing, it was like, oh god.
Great. It was hilarious.
The Leatherface thing was like the cherry on top of the, hey, we are gonna smack you in the face with this stupid gimmick. And they literally had a Leatherface come out and then just chase Karen Jarrett away.
Karen, who's being posed as the final girl anyway the whole time, right?
They were
white tank top covered in blood.
Yeah, they literally just
setting that up
made a
the whole
10-minute
time.
long horror movie. Sure. It was great.
I mean, I'm not a horror fan. Maybe, I don't know.
I think it's because you're not a horror fan. And you don't appreciate the campiness that went into this match. And you know what? Everybody's entitled to their opinions. You know, hey, we are in a place of positivity. Everybody's entitled to their own opinion, even if it's.
Oh no, I'm talking shit about JJ on the internet right now.
Go for it. Yeah, that's at J Money 1536.
That segment certainly wasn't for everybody, but it certainly was for me.
I said I generally get the campiness, and I generally like, you know, gimmicky stuff, you know, but just it didn't hit any bells for me. So, and you're right, JB, you're probably 100% right, because I'm not into horror movies really, even though I do like Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the original. I like
the remake with Jessica
Alba.
Biel.
No,
Biel.
Jessica Biel, thank you. Yeah, and then like the sequel, whatever they did with Alexandra Daddario, who was in whatever, like dark hair, bright blue
She's been
eyes.
a bunch of. She's in Baywatch. She was in.
Like I can't the show with Woody Harrelson and Matthew McConaughey that was on HBO. That was really damn good. Like they were cops. I don't remember that show. Do you remember that show? Anybody remember that show?
I can't remember the name.
Jesus.
Man. It's right
True
from my head.
Detective, right?
It's really good though. Yeah, True Detective. Thank you. Yes. Yeah. Crushed it.
I never saw it.
That show was the shit.
Anyway, but yeah, she's great. Like I said, I didn't have much good to say about this, but hey, that's okay. Not everything's for everybody. Like we just talked about 10 minutes ago, right?
Okay. Cool. Okay. Best worst gimmick matches ever. Go. Top two. Just everybody give their top
gimmick
one.
Match ever. Okay.
Like it was terrible, but it was absolutely amazing because it was so damn bad.
I don't know if you can top the Chamber of Horrors match. where they electrocute Abdullah the Butcher in the chair, but it's just kind of buzzing sounds, and there's no like attempt to even gimmick it. He's just kind of shaking there. That's a hard one to beat.
How about TNA's annual turkey on a turkey? What was it? The turkey outfit on a stick match, where the loser was the turkey and for their annual Thanksgiving show and had to be dressed up as the turkey and parade around the ring, which AJ Styles did beautifully one year.
I feel like anything on a pole matches have to be their own category.
I loathe
They
anything on the
really
pole
do.
matches, but that one was hilarious and fun.
Yeah. I feel like the first time they put something up on a pole, they should have watched the match and been like, oh, that's why we should probably never do that again.
Never do that again. No. But they basically...
It sounds cool in theory, and then you realize there's nothing to really work because it's a pole in one corner of the ring. Well, and then they keep doing them for some reason.
But the match wasn't necessary to get the outfit, right? It was like a 4 or 5 way match, right? You know, and the people that got in there, it was like everybody that was like low trodden story wise at the time, right? You know, so in essence, it was their match to determine who is the bottom of the totem pole in TNA at the time, and the loser of that elimination match is the one that had to be dressed up as the turkey and paraded around. It was great. I think EY wore it one year. AJ wore it one year when he was Kurt Angle's lackey. A truly bad gimmick, but I loved it. Jamie,
I love a good seasonal gimmick match. Like those you just know they're going to be silly, so you don't take them seriously, and they're usually pretty fun.
I don't know if you guys remember this. The Kennel from Hell match.
So
Al Snow versus the Big Boss Man, 1999.
I thought about that one. I just didn't know if I would put it in the like good bad gimmick match. And it might just
was so bad, it's great.
That
like,
was
just dogs like shitting on the floor around the ring and like not really attacking anybody when they fall out or anything.
No, like they're humping each other and whatnot. Yeah, that's what made it like the best worst, because it's like it's so god awful. It's like The Room, the movie The Room. You're like, oh hi Mock, you know that, like same thing.
Yeah, Kennel from Hell was not one of their better ideas.
Oh, that was the SWAT team boss man, right? The SWAT team era boss man.
Yeah, the SWAT boss.
The one that got hanged by the Undertaker.
For real.
I mean, to be fair, there was a lot of Undertaker kind of offshoot matches like they did around that time too, you know, because buried alive, cool, right? Coffin matches, cool, right? And they started getting like real out there with some of that stuff, especially when he was like American Badass. You're doing like dead men shit. It's like,
yeah,
wait, what?
I mean, one of the worst ones too for me personally was the On Fire match, like the first person who got set on fire.
Right.
Him and Kane, that was bad.
What about old ECW? No, I think it's fantastic, but the old barbed wire massacres.
Oh. Yeah, those were great.
Those are fantastic. Now we're talking good gimmicks here. Sorry.
Yeah. I still remember when you threw the dude off the top of the scaffolding as a receipt. You threw the guy off as a receipt. Like, damn. New Jack was on a different level. All right, so back to this. We had the Kenny Omega thing. We already kind of talked about it. He's gonna face Takeshka, and
Jay White and
Jay White and Juice, and then he's got Hangman and Ibushi. So that match is gonna fuck. To your guys' point, so really excited for that one. All right, so let's go back to the down. Darby Allin versus and Nick Wayne versus the Gates of Agony. I did not enjoy this match.
It was a match for sure.
The match was okay. I enjoyed the post match immensely.
I hated the post match immensely.
We're getting Joker Sting.
Immensely.
Yeah, TNA Joker Sting was god awful.
What?
Not a hot take. That's a real
No,
take.
that's a fucking hot take. That is okay. You're entitled to your opinion, Jamie, even if it is wrong. That's okay. Joker Sting.
You can't use my phrasing.
I can do double. what was it? You can't double cross the triple cross. No, Joker Sting was fantastic. It was amazing. It was so good. He's just giving us a little bit of it too. I whatever. I'm all for Joker Sting, 100%. Austin, where do you sit on Joker Sting?
So I did not watch much TNA during the Joker Sting era.
That's post Hogan. That's a good point. Yeah.
Yeah. So I vividly remember when I noped out of TNA, and it was during the main event Mafia angle. And it was when Booker T got jumped in the back and Scott Steiner came up and went, man, I would have helped you, but I was in the back taking a dump. It was like the most sweet face ever. And I was like, oh, this is just bad WCW again. And then I kind of stopped watching. But I did really enjoy the post-match stuff. I thought the entire episode seemed a little over the top. Like, not necessarily every single second, but as a general theme, and I thought it worked. Like, it got me a little more hype for the pay-per-view. I liked Sting literally kidnapping Prince Nana, because, like, wouldn't have expected to do that. Like, now I'm more interested in a Darby Allin match I wasn't really going to care about, although I do like Swerve, but I'm more interested with Sting doing something different, because we've seen the same Sting in AEW for some time now.
Right. And here's my defense, and you don't have to like Joker Sting. That's fine, right? But here's my defense as to why I love Joker Sting so much, okay? And it's not because of all the Batman parts of it, because, I mean, let's be fair. JJ is sitting below roughly 35 Batman Funko Pops and with my Batman tattoo, and, I get it, right? But Joker Sting was really the first time Sting actually took an active talking role since Beachbody Sting, So Crow, he said what? During WCW, his Crow days, he said what, 10 words, maybe, He barely talked.
Until he went red face. Then he went red face, he went back to it, talking.
He went a little bit back to it, right? Because he was, into, but
well, there's
still.
Also the late, or like the 99, around the time I was watching when Russo shows up, Sting's cutting promos and just sunglasses, no face paint, and he's like actually talking. But it's still not the same.
It's not the same. And he did the same thing in Main Event Mafia when he had the no face paint and sunglasses, and it's not the same, right? This is Sting as we know it, but he's being this creative freedom that he didn't have, and he's kind of going on this wild, crazy man, angle and stuff. And you got to see parts of it. He went way over the top in parts of the Joker Sting back at TNA. I'll give you that for sure. But just get a little bit, kind of like the way he modulated his tone as he was going through different sentences and talking to Nana, and then Nana leaves and he's like crying for. It's just like, those are the good bits, because it's kind of him overacting in a fantastic way that you don't see wrestlers really go after anymore. Wrestlers are either like totally on point with being a specific character or being like a specific type of guy. Like, I'm a badass. I'm an asshole. That's it, right? That's why I love Joker Sting. There's my pontification.
So, speaking of over the top, we're going to segue away from that terrible segment into an awesome segment. Overacting. I think MJF and Adam Cole have that on lock right now.
I love this so much. So much.
I want to hate it. I did, but now I'm like hook, line, sinker. This is the best damn thing that I am so enthralled with. They go to Outback Steakhouse to get ready for Aussie Open.
They have to go to the enemy's turf, their sacred domain, their sanctum, right? Their holy place, Outback Steakhouse.
So stuff the onions. And then the kangaroo kick. Oh my God. Did anybody else pop as hard for the whole kangaroo kick thing?
Yes.
Because I was laughing my ass off. I'm like, this is going to get so over. Everybody's going to buy into this. Whatever MJF is saying right now, people are buying.
What do you think about the part of it where they were like, and then they attack Charlie backstage and do double clothesline and get called into Tony Khan's office?
I felt like I was watching Beverly Hills Cop. Oh, damn it, Murphy. Yeah, for real. It was so good.
Like I will always have the same issue I've had since day one with this, is that it's revolving around your world championship. That I'm fine if the world title is the only thing taken seriously on the entire show and the rest of your feuds are all getting ridiculous. But like I having the world title involved in that, and then having Tony Khan, the owner of the company, I think if you had Tony and it was two guys that weren't fighting over your world title and like they did that, like get in trouble with the principal gimmick, it would be fine. That's my like, and I'm not going to be past that. So I'll just ignore it. For pure entertainment value, this was absolute flames. Like, it was great. I wish it wasn't for the world title, but it is. So I'm just going to go ahead and enjoy it, because I'm not one of these weirdos on the internet that this isn't exactly how I want it, so I've got to be mad about it. Like, it's funny. It's super entertaining. So like, if they give me at least that, I'm fine with it.
So to your point, though, I felt like they did a really good job of going from super funny to bringing it home with the in-ring segment.
Yeah.
Like I felt like it was a nice transition. They roll up in MJF's new Corvette, which I love that Corvette.
That's a Ferrari he drove, actually.
No, it wasn't a Ferrari.
That was a Ferrari.
That was the new Corvette.
I don't know anything about cars, so I mean, I'm not gonna be able to break the tie on this one, gentlemen.
But I know a lot of people said Ferrari. I'm like, dude, that's the new mid-engine Corvette. I know it from anywhere. I could see it from a mile away. But anyway, it does look like a Ferrari, though. Roddy kicks the tire because he's trying to get him. Of course, can't get him. And then he hurts his foot. I'll put a pin in that. That's why I put a pin in that for just a second.
Yeah, please, because I do. Yes, please do that.
So then they come out, they do like story time with Adam Cole, Bebe, and Adam's like, I'm going to give everything I got with that, whatever. And then here comes MJF talking about how he put two names on there, Cody Rhodes. He talked a lot about Cody, which I want to get into in just a sec. But then he had Adam Cole as the other person. Love that whole setup there. And then literally they went into each other like, I'm not going to give up. Like, I'll do anything for the Triple B. This is the greatest moment of all time. And then you had the moment that Jamie has been calling for a little bit over a month now of the Adam Cole turn to super heeldom. And it leaves MJF as your babyface. It's coming. 100% coming.
Certainly could be. Like, that probably seems like the most logical ending of it. I still don't like the idea of babyface MJF.
He's so over right now, though.
I think it has a very short shelf life.
That's fair.
I think the things he does well don't work as well as a good guy. But I mean the story with them's been good. The payoff at All In is going to be great. I think my thing with all the silliness in the title is you have two younger guys. They're both smaller guys as well. And it seems like all this has seemed a bit childish for your world title. I know I'm like an old man yelling at a cloud now. The in-ring stuff was good though. Like I'm bought in on the match. I just wish it was for like the TNT title and you just had like, you were building up some like big epic clash for the main event, but still going to enjoy it either way.
I feel like, and I fully bought in to, oh, hold on a second. I need to go back here. I'm sorry. I was uploading an image to prove Jamie wrong to our Discord server, and I totally screwed up the view for a second. So I'll send it to you later, Jamie. Don't worry. I fully bought into the heel turn. Right, the double turn, the heel turn, face turn. Right, I think that a lot of what you made mention of, Austin, is kind of the reason why I think it's going to be such a fantastic turn when it does happen, because they're buying this hook, line, and sinker. The kangaroo kick got its own chant, right, and it's its own thing. And people are eating it. Yes, we're eating out of their hands and buying into this shtick. even though it's so obvious, we know what's going to happen. They're going to turn on them, and they're going to do it however they do it, They keep teasing at it, and you're not going to have – there's got to be a payoff. Now, they might do a swerve, and as MJF ends up, being the one who does the turn, and I don't know. But I think because there's that inevitable turn coming, we know that this is not going to continue. This is going to have an end date, and eventually then they'll move on, they'll move past it, right? Which is fine, because then you can flip back. If you flip one to another, you can flip them both back. You can do whatever at that point, right? Like I said, the whole Adam Cole doesn't really become a heel because he has to stop MJF at any means, and MJF doesn't really become a face because he gets fucked over by Adam Cole. Cool, right? There's a solution to your problem. Boom, they're back where they should be. Okay, cool, right? But the inevitable term is why I'm loving it so much.
I could also see a situation where MJF tries to turn first, but Adam Cole was planning it all along, and then you get the bigger turn, and then they both leave still heels, and then you don't really, because that's the other thing too, is with both of them being how they are right now, if you change too much, you're going to lose something of what's over with that. But I can also see you have Cole leave with the belt at the end, and then maybe you shuffle MJF over to Collision to continue that business with CM Punk over the other belt. Because that's the other thing with MJF too, is you turn him face and he drops the belt, where do you go with him from there?
He's got to eventually make his way to CM Punk, whether he has the title or not.
Mm-hmm.
Right,
and
that's all CM Punk is hinging on, other than just tagging along with FTR for whatever the fuck reason.
And I think Cole's over enough that you could give Cole the title now and have MJF go over there with Punk without the title to keep that going, and that would be pretty entertaining.
Excellent point. Yeah, well, I'm thinking if Adam Cole wins, you could easily go right into what you guys are saying with the MJF. It just makes so much sense there. And then you have Adam Cole versus Takeshita. You have Adam Cole versus Ibushi. People pay to see that. Especially if he's face. If you have heel Adam Cole, that opens the table up for all the faces. So you can get Omega. Yes.
Omega hanger.
With the Omega him thing is a real thing that's from New Japan, and yes.
Here's a question for you, gentlemen.
Mm-hmm.
If we get what we're expecting and a heel Adam Cole championship run, do you think the women's title finds its way back to Britt Baker?
Yes.
I feel like they're not going to be able to resist the temptation of doing that.
Is it sad that the feeling is that the women's division is kind of hinging on what Adam Cole does? Is that sad or what?
Yeah, I could see us being in store for another long Britt Baker title reign. Maybe that's what happens at All In. Now that we start thinking about if Adam Cole's going over later in the night, I could totally see them. I hope not. I want to see Sheeta leave with the title, but I could see both Adam Cole and Britt Baker leaving the title and just kicking off into the following Dynamite as heels running the show.
Truth of the matter, I could see any one of those women walking out of that building with that title, to be fair.
Which is wild because they're so bad at booking the women's division, but
I know
that's what you want out of a 4-way title match.
Yeah.
You rarely get that.
You want that out of any match. You want it to be that. I don't know what'll happen because that's why you're excited to see the match, right? That's what people go to, MMA and boxing, because it's you don't know what's going to happen until it happens, So it's
yeah, and it's cool that with the match itself, any of the four could win, but it's kind of sad that that's only true because there's no real story or thread going. And so anything's possible because there's no story to betray by going one way or the other.
Don't look behind the curtain. Just don't pay no attention to that man over there. Don't look behind that curtain.
Hey man, but I think I've said about AEW many times before, even their bad stuff typically ventures into something watchable. So
good point.
Gotta give him credit.
100%.
You want to talk about Roddy before we go forward? Because I want to talk about Roddy.
Absolutely. So Roddy was watching them have their like bro out moment, and he's sitting in a chair with ice on his foot from kicking the tire, which, my goodness, thank you so much.
Still in the neck brace. And he was comforted by the Kingdom, who comforted him as he kicked the tire and he hurt his foot. They go, "Come on, man, you gotta let it go." I go, "Why would you say that?" You know, because the let it go thing, or whatever or shake it off. They told me, "Hey, just shake it off." Yeah. You know, it's like, I think that the Kingdom are going to be the Red Dragon of this version of Undisputed Empire.
Yeah,
sure seems like that.
Because Kyle's not back yet, and we don't know when he's going to be. And Fish is not here, so if you're following formulas, that fits. They have a history with Cole. It makes sense.
It does make sense, and I am here for that, big time.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I'm down to see more of the Kingdom on my TV. I always like those guys.
Mm-hmm.
They're good people.
I do think though that like the silliness from Roddy, like it doesn't connect as well because of how funny MJF and Adam Cole are. Like it's kind of sad.
I think that's why I like it personally, because it is not as good. It's almost because it's like that. I've told you guys before about my favorite trauma movie is Ferocious Female Freedom Fighters, and most everybody I know that I tell that movie, they watch it, they go, "That was terrible." Not even in a. It's like, no, it's hilarious. It's so bad, it's funny, you know. I think that's kind of like my take on Roddy, is because it's so so bad out there. I love it even more. I don't know. I just love it.
Yeah. I think if you're gonna full on turn Adam Cole into a heel, I think Roddy needs to get figuratively sacrificed at All In. And then when you bring Kyle O'Reilly back, you do Adam Cole, the Kingdom, and Kyle O'Reilly, and you send Roddy off on his own business. Like if he's going heel, him finally putting Roddy out of his misery, like maybe MJF tries to turn on him, Roddy comes out to stop it, and Cole and the Kingdom beat down the both of them, and he wins, something like that.
Okay.
I think it gets him over more as a heel if Roddy takes one for the team.
It is more predictable, but my thought is that this is like the long play of Roddy, of Adam Cole.
Yeah.
Like, hey, Roddy, here's what we're going to do. You're going to be a bumbling idiot for 3 months, but trust me, this is going to work, right? That kind of bit, right? That's what I feel like is coming.
That's the most likely, because I mean, it like that, like you say, it's a little predictable. It seems like what they would be setting up. That's why I like the idea of going the other way with it and having Roddy being genuinely upset that Adam's not his friend anymore, and Adam Cole just beating his ass about it.
So Roddy just becomes the constantly kicked man kicked in the balls in the backstage. I love it. Yeah. That's great.
Oh yeah. All right. So let's move on. So again, roller coaster time. We're going down on the roller coaster this time. Britt Baker versus the Bunny.
This is an up roller coaster for me, brother. I love watching the Bunny wrestle. The Bunny is low key, like to me, is low key one of the most talented workers on the AEW roster. She is, no matter who they put her in there with, she is always out there doing the Lord's work, like just handling her part to get the match going on. Like Bunny is low key a phenomenal wrestler.
Yep.
She's their Brooklyn Brawler.
Yeah. Yeah, she can get a watchable match out of anybody.
Mm-hmm. Britt did show a little bit more fire than she has been. I will say that, like, if I want to give her any kind of positives, she did show a little bit more fire. I think all the people out there like us who are waxing about her lack of effort and want to by the appearance of it. But then, like, she legit almost missed Bunny's arm on an Irish whip.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like mistakes happen sometimes, but that's the other thing too. If you throughout the entire match look like you're in an athletic contest and like you want to be there, the mistakes are more forgivable because you see people botch stuff in pro sports all the time. Like it's ridiculous that NBA players, if you hit 80% of your free throws, you're an elite free throw shooter. You stand at the same line from the same distance. Like you could practice that shit as much as you want. They still brick a ton of them. But yeah, like Britt showed a little bit more fire, but that's always like the thing with her still. She doesn't have a lot of like facial expression and body language where she looks like she wants to be there. She can do the moves as well as she needs to be, and she does have like star power. She's over. People want to like her. Just look like you want to be there so we can enjoy the match you're having.
And maybe that's more of a commentary on, because she had that like during the whole like when she broke her leg and the pandemic, and then she had that. So who knows why that is? I will say this though, it's a little bit unfair for us, to be honest, Jamie, because we're looking and trying to count botches now, right? I know I was tonight because she's given
100%.
us this. So it's a little bit unfair for her. I get that, right? You know, and there's no real way out of it other than just putting your nose down and working on your character, like Austin said, right? To make that better so we don't care about the botches. You know, we're not looking for the botches. I felt, though, this was a much better match than she put on in the last few weeks. So while it still wasn't great, and I still got big complaints about the booking of AEW, because like you talked about at the beginning a while ago, is that we already knew this was going to happen, right? There was no hope the Bunny was going to win. You know, that's the bigger complaint I have. The match itself, I didn't feel was terrible. It was good to see the Bunny back, to be honest with you.
It was like one of my favorite parts of the whole match was when Penelope literally licked Britt's face. That was hilarious. Like, oh yeah, redeem equality. Like, but to your point about Britt, she has made this bed. She has to lie in it. You know, just like my father told me once before, if you don't succeed, pack your bags.
Yeah, like I genuinely would like to see just more intensity and effort out of Britt Baker because she's a feature part of the TV show and she's always in there with other women that can deliver their half of the match. And I was like, I thought this match was perfectly fine. It wasn't bad by any means, but it just, when you have one of the people in there look like they don't want to be there and that they're just there and they're going to win. Like, I think that's the thing with Britt. She just comes off as she's there and she's going to win because she's Britt Baker. She did her entrance. What more do you want from her? And
Right.
and she'll like walk around the ring in between moves, just kind of her arms at her side and like no expression on her face. And then she'll like spin in a 360 and forearm someone perfectly placed with good sound. And there's no consistency throughout it all. Like you see her do some pretty cool stuff, but in between, it's so slow that it like catches you by surprise and not in a good way.
What's funny is that Marina Shafir basically is the exact same as Britt Baker. Now, I'm not talking talent-wise, but basically, but hers is different because her whole shtick is the whole intensity and whatever, focused and stuff. But the end result is the same thing. There's no depth. And there's no depth to Britt Baker right now. For what it's worth, we need to have more Penelope Ford on my TV. Honestly, like I miss seeing her out there.
I love Penelope. I love Penelope and the Bunny. They need to get going.
Yeah.
And I'd like to see them. I know that they're kind of with the Butcher and the Blade and all that, but I'd like to see them put more of these women with factions. So instead of getting the Blackpool Combat Club versus the Elite in the same couple of combinations 6 months in a row, you could throw in a women's match involved in the story as a placeholder for that feud for the week, and they could have their own beef going on, and it would make everything better for everybody.
Yeah. I know Diamante said that for a long time. She's been a long proponent about bringing LAX over to, especially when Santana and Ortiz were both here. She was really big about them doing LAX and doing it like they did in TNA, where she was a part of it and other Latinas. And I think that's a great idea. I don't
Yeah,
know. I don't know why every faction doesn't do that. We talked about that way back in NXT days. Me and Jamie were like I was lobbying for Io Shirai to go to the Undisputed Era, right? You know, because it's like the same thing. Why would you have a woman?
Sick.
But yeah, they get a
good.
built-in story. They've got a reason to wrestle, and you're immediately more invested because there's still something that you've seen on TV before on the line. Like, all right, this whole group hates this group. Two of them are fighting this week. Cool, I'm in.
Right.
Exactly. All right. So let's move on back to another high note. I feel like we're going to be all high notes from here on out. The Acclaimed are getting ready to wrestle just two randos. And then the lights went out, and then they got attacked by the House of Black. So to your point, Austin, about earlier, the House of Black might not be in that, but I'm thinking the House of Black versus the Acclaimed will be at All Out.
I feel that way too, honestly.
I understand the logic behind that. The only reason I think it'll be on 0 Hour is those are all acts you want on your big international show.
That's
like
a good
those
point.
are more notable over acts. Like that, I would think if I was buying a ticket to this giant 7-hour long AEW experience, and like I didn't get to Scissor Me Daddy, the bloke next to me, I'd be pretty disappointed. So like they're gonna be out there, and like same thing, House of Black. Why wouldn't you want to see that? Like that's a different, unique act. They always put on good, fun matches. That's why I think it's going to be on 0 Hour. You might get some other combination or some other match at All Out as well. But I don't see House of Black or Acclaimed being left off that show.
I hear you.
Yeah, no, yeah, good point. I mean, I'm hoping you're wrong. All right, so let's talk about that main event. How about, I love the Guns entrance, even though it did get interrupted by the Bucks, but I'm loving their new entrance and like how they're using the water for their guns and all that shit. Like I pop so hard for that. This match was a lot of fun.
Yeah,
a lot of fun. I am full in on the Guns. I've been for a while now. Not just, I mean, it's not just their packaging, but their packaging is so much better, right? Them in the Bullet Club Gold makes all the sense in the world, even though I know Austin hates seeing another Bullet Club out there. Their in-ring is great, you know? Their finishing maneuver is called 310 to Yuma, for God's sake. I know that pops Jamie like a son of a bitch. I'm a big fan of the Guns. I think that we overlooked them a while ago when we were thinking about, you know, all the young tag teams and, you know, Private Party and the Acclaimed and this and that, you know. The Guns are great. And I like this. This didn't feel like a passing of the torch, but in a way it kind of could be looked back as one of those kind of, you know, because it's the first time ever we got Guns and Bucks.
Yeah, I feel like the Guns, they kind of got dealt a bad hand in that they pretty much had to learn on live TV / YouTube because they did do a lot on Dark and Dark Elevation. But when they first started tagging, they were just there because they were Billy's kids, and that happens in wrestling. That's fine.
Yeah.
But
a little light nepotism.
Yeah, but I mean, they earned their spot after a while. Their feud with the Acclaimed was great, and then they just went out there on the main event of national TV and held their own with the fucking Young Bucks in a very good main event. It's been awesome to see them and the Acclaimed as well, because the Acclaimed were in the same boat. They were a random team that got thrown together when they were doing Dark back in the day.
Yep.
And they, like, it's cool with AEW, and you didn't get this as much in NXT after the first couple of years, but back when Sami Zayn was there and Claudio was there, not that they weren't indie guys before, but you got to see people come up through the WWE system and like become stars. Now, after a few years, you were bringing in stars already and just warming them up to throw them on your big TV show.
Right.
That's a really cool thing with AEW is seeing like the Guns and the Acclaimed, and even it might get some disagreement. I really enjoyed Jack Perry's promo tonight about retiring.
So did I.
Wait,
I don't know
what?
if you last week or not, but yeah, his about retiring the FTW title. Like he's coming along too. It's great to see like all this young talent progressing.
I heard something come from Jamie's microphone, Austin. I don't
Yes,
know.
yes. I liked a Dylan McKay JBJP
Embrace the
promo.
dark side, man. Like he's
Join
already done
us.
everybody.
First one.
It's
I've enjoyed.
recorded. It's pre-recorded. That's why you liked it. Just don't give him a live mic. Don't give him a hot mic.
Yeah. Yeah. Don't give him a hot. I mean, though he did say he is banging the baddest bitch in AEW, which
That was
that
a good
popped
one.
me too.
It's
It
been
popped me
such
too.
a positive development for him. And that's the thing, like he's still figuring it out. So it's a work in progress, but there's
He's
at least like
23.
meat to chew on. Yeah. That's the other thing too with him, and especially with this heel character, he doesn't have to win. He had to get that first win against Hook, but you've now got someone because you've got your guys like Darby and even kind of Sammy to some extent that you've built them up to a point where they can't just be taking losses all the time.
Yep.
But they also aren't winning the big titles and like doing important shit. So they get in this weird holding pattern where Jungle Boy can feud with everybody for the next like 2 years and just keep getting better, and he can eat losses as often as you need him to.
Mm-hmm.
Lo and behold, who would have thought that after the whole 4 pillars, whatever, which is still fantastic. I still love that match, by the way. Just throwing that out there. That match still pops me. But after the whole 4 pillars thing, we were talking about like, what do you do? How you go with this? And our kind of, I know our consensus, Jamie, was that, you know, well, who's the Jungle Boy is by far the one that's going to be out in the cold, right? Sort of bit, right? Who would have thought that they actually got something going here for a long-term plan for this kid?
Yeah, Sammy's the one out.
yeah, Sammy's the one. Sammy got popped tonight. It was weird. It's like, do we hate Sammy? Do we like Sammy? Sammy got a pop when he came out to save Jericho. It's
Dude,
weird.
Pregnant wife gets you some pop. Like that's all there is to it.
Well, I'll take your word for that.
I do gotta say about Jungle Boy really quick. If they do end up turning MJF face after this Adam Cole thing, I wouldn't mind a short run MJF and Jungle Boy feud with heel Jungle Boy and face MJF.
Oh yeah, give me some of that.
I feel like that's something you can go back. That's kind of like the Ricky Starks thing, even though that Ricky Starks is now like full heel after his promo last week on Collision, which, whatever. I feel like that's like, because you have that in your back pocket too. You've got Ricky Starks versus MJF down the line. And if Ricky Starks is face, well, MJF is face, you got Ricky Starks there who's now a heel. So now that works again, right?
Starks and Jungle Boy would be a fun program too.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Like I was just saying about Jungle Boy, he can eat a loss. So like you could do a fun program with them where Ricky should beat him. I think that'll bring even more out of him because Ricky's one of those guys that like you gotta step up to keep up with it.
What's up, Clint?
Yeah, that's accurate.
Yeah. I just want to stop for a second there. Sorry, I didn't want to derail you there, Austin. But I just heard that come out of Jamie's microphone. I wanted to make sure I was here. My ears were adjusted properly.
No.
Okay.
So after the match for the Bucks, they won, of course, with a nice little roll up with a cheat win, which I liked. Anything to win. They got attacked by Bullet Club Gold because they're the only remaining members of the Elite there. And then here come the FTR to make the save, and they had their little stare down and all that. Again, building up FTR Bucks 3, which we don't need to get built up. We know what this match is going to do.
Yeah.
Like, of the entire card, this match needs zero build because you know what you're getting.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Absolutely.
I wish FTR's save would have been like a good 10 to 15 seconds earlier, because it was that awkward thing they do sometimes where they're just holding the faces down and doing nothing, just waiting on the music to hit out. But I'm never not going to pop when FTR runs out anyway. So, I mean, it's so cool.
Yeah. Big FTR mark here.
Yeah. FTR Bucks is going to be great. And it's nice to see the Bucks kind of away from the bigger Elite feuds, and just we're getting a dope tag team match on this show.
Well, I feel like this is the best way to go forward here, because we've nose deep in the Elite since they came back post CM Punk brawl, right? They did the whole Kansas entrance theme, which Jamie loves. I hate. Whatever.
I love. Yeah, it's Kansas.
It was a one-time thing because it's like because it tied into their return video. We will carry on. So it played in, but then they kept playing it for their entrance, and I'm like, well, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah,
You've already had the whatever.
Oh, why not?
I just don't feel like.
I mean, it's like holding on to like being a part of the SEC when you're literally the worst team in the SEC right now.
Ooh, really? You're gonna really Vanderbilt, and you say we're the worst team in the SEC? First of all, there's no way we are the worst team in the SEC. We're not even the worst team in. Well, how about you guys spending $300 million for a stadium that's gonna seat 20, 30 people maybe in 5 years? How many people are actually going to show up to a KU football game? Maybe 100 for homecoming. You never know. They'll be gone by halftime.
Hey, we sold out 3 times this year.
Oh, 3 whole games. We sold out every game this year. Okay, so there's that. And then just saying. How
many rings you got? How many rings?
What sport? We got rings in all sorts of sports. We're gonna go.
Oh, really? Name one. Good luck.
Baseball, track and field.
Baseball has never won a championship.
Yes, it has.
Track and field, never.
Yes, it has.
Oh, sorry. Track and field, 1946. You're correct.
Baseball has won a championship in 1955.
Okay, so 2.
I'm sure there's others too. Whatever.
No, like I've used this against multiple Mizzou fans.
That's okay.
Every time,
at the end of the day,
we're far superior.
Oh, we are far superior. That's okay. But that's it's okay. You can have your little we created basketball even though you didn't create basketball. Bullshit argument going on as much as you want.
Yeah, I guess that higher graduation rate, multiple national championships in multiple sports. Yeah, what else?
You didn't even go to Kansas. Why do you care?
You don't even go here.
You don't even go here. You graduated from goddamn from Missouri College, I want to say, by the way.
JJ, I like that you took a decent amount from him before you pulled that card out. You didn't even go there.
Yeah, well, because he's gonna spit it out anyway. This happens all the time. This is what KU fans do. He's gonna happen anyway. So you got to let him just go to town there. And then it's like, oh, by the way, you don't even have a horse in this race. So what does it fucking matter? I actually went to Mizzou.
Hold on. What's your number one argument as a Steelers fan compared to everybody else? How many championships you got?
That's a good point. It's a valid point. I will say that
you're talking out of one side of your mouth and talking out the other, man.
You do the same thing because you come back here. You're like, oh, but the Chiefs are the best team ever. Like, really, you only got half the championships we have, and then
Clint gets it.
Not everybody can be. We had this talk earlier. You can have an opinion. It doesn't have to be right. Not everybody can be correct. That's okay. That's okay. Enjoy you guys' new coast to coast Big 12. Eventually, you'll make half as much money as we will in 2 years, so that's okay. Yeah, when we're getting a $100 million paycheck, just saying. All right, enough. I'm excited for football season. This is why I'm excited, because we could have this argument and we could do this. This is fun. This is good stuff.
Close. We're so close.
This is a good argument. See, we can have arguments and disagreements. Wrestling community can learn a lot from this.
So, Austin, if you ever want to twist up JJ, you just have to shit on Mizzou and shit on the Blues and shit on the Steelers. If you shit on any of those in any way, shape, or form, shots fired, and he just gets all sorts of twisted up. All sorts of twisted up.
Well, for one, shit on the Blues is easy, okay? Remember, I've been a Blues fan for a while. Whatever. Yeah, before we won the championship in 19, we were the Chicago Cubs of hockey. Is basically what we were. And as a St. Louis fan, saying those words hurts, but it's true. So it's kind of like I can't really argue with you there. You can shit on the Blues. That's like you're probably mostly correct. But I will fight you on the Steeler thing every time, especially if you come back with some Chiefs bullshit on me. So no. That's not happening.
All right. Maybe we should wrap this up. Okay, maybe we should wrap this up.
100% wrap this up.
We've had a great trip. We've had brownies pot brownies that didn't have pot in them. We saw twins making out. Like, this has been an excellent trip.
It was, and here's the point. So now we got this is how we tie you back in, folks. So we got almost a full card, pretty much. I mean, the only thing they haven't really announced that's going to be on there that we know is going to happen is Joe versus Punk. Okay, we all have a good feeling that we're going to get some Acclaimed and some House of Black, potentially somehow, right? I'd love to see another women's match out there somewhere. And like I made mention earlier, if you give me Grado on this show, JJ will pop it at midday on a Sunday. Grado versus Jeff Jarrett. Please give me that. If you're listening, you don't know who Grado is, when you're done watching this video, use a little search bar on top of YouTube and look him up. Okay.
Please. Thank you.
But I mean, I feel like we got pretty much the whole show set up, right? We got the tag match, we got title match, we got another.
There's seven matches right now.
Does that include the buy-in?
Officially, no, that does not include buy-in.
Okay, so we got. Okay, let's go backwards here. So we got the title match. We got MJF versus Adam Cole. Got Young Bucks versus FTR3. We got the women's 4-way match for the world title. We have the coffin match between Sting and Darby versus AR Fox and Swerve. We have, I keep wanting to say Punk and Joe, but I know it's not official.
Stadium Stampede.
The Stadium Stampede. What am I missing here?
Did you have Jericho Osprey?
Jericho Osprey.
The women's 4-way?
Got that.
Did you get the Elite triple threat or the trios?
We got Kenny Omega, the Golden Elite versus Bullet Club Gold / Don Callis Family. And then on the 0 hour right now, we have the Better Than You Baby versus Aussie Open. So that's 8 matches in total right now. If you put in there, which we know they're going to do, CM Punk and Joe, that gives us 9. That's a pretty full card. And if you added there the Acclaimed and House of Black, now we're at 10. I feel like Tony needs to stop booking at this point.
I feel like there will be at least one more 0 hour match. So even with House of Black and Acclaimed, if they do that, I think we'll get at least 3 on the 0 hour. Isn't 0 hour like 2 hours, or is it just one?
It's just one, usually.
Just one, typically. So you get 2 to 3 matches, typically.
I might have seen like the times when they were opening doors. I don't know, with all the time zone changes and stuff. I forgot whatever time everything was. But yeah, even
this biggest show, they might do a 2 hour, 0 hour. You never know.
I think even if it's at 1, though, we probably get another women's match thrown on 0 hour. I'd imagine Statlander defending the TBS title, but who knows? Maybe like Statlander and Mercedes Martinez or something like that.
Ooh, I like that. Yeah, because they're setting that up pretty hard, and I feel like that would be a great 0 hour. And then, like I was talking about last week when I made the card prediction for All Out, that's when you bring back Chris Statlander versus Jay Cargill at All Out. Like, it makes sense to put that on 0 hour, to your point.
Yeah, I mean, I see them throwing it in. Like, why wouldn't you throw another women's match on there? You got 80,000 people showing up. You're going to throw as much stuff at them as you can. Makes sense, but we'll see what they actually do.
I can see him bloating up 0 hour. Like he packed a lot into the 0 hour for Forbidden Door 2, just because, like I said, because New Japan wanted to have a lot of people involved, and so they did a bunch of short matches on there, which was fine. I feel like he might do the same thing for the same reason. It's kind of like that, like the first Saudi show that they did. WWE wanted to get as many people in that stadium, right? You know, to prove that the $1 billion they're taking of Saudi blood money was worth it. But oh, sorry, I digress. So who knows? I would love to see another women's match. I don't know what he'll book, and I don't think it'll happen. I feel like Mercedes versus Statlander is got Chicago written all over it. Personally, I feel like if he's good does another women's match, it needs to be somebody British or British aligned. Just because of that's right. I don't know who that would be.
Yeah. All right. Well, gentlemen, is that time of the evening where you all need to guess How many movie quotes did Jamie have in tonight's episode?
One of them I was unsure of, but I put down here as 2 because it was a long thing. You had a little break in the middle. So I had you at 11.
Ooh, you were close.
Damn.
I am gonna say 9. I caught like 4 definite ones, but I'm gonna say 9.
You can always plan him just doing 5.
I did 12.
Ah! That's okay, Clint. You can go back and double check his math on the replay. And bonus, if you will get a pin that will stay as a pin comment if you can figure out what the movie was that Jamie was focusing some quotes on tonight.
Like that.
Yeah, and this won't happen if you guess correctly. So you're thinking that I don't manage this fucking channel. Come on, bro. Come on. You know you can add banned words for your live chat, by the way. I just want to let you know that can be done. Anyway, no. We're excited for football. We're excited for
Rock.
We're excited for football. We're excited for video games. We're excited for All In. I don't know about All Out yet. So we have 2 matches that have basically been announced for All Out. Okay, we'll see. I feel like all it's going to be just kind of a shit show thrown together, which might be one of the greatest things that ever happens, to be honest with you.
I still gotta get my money.
Yeah, a thrown together spot show when you've got a roster of some of the best wrestlers on the planet wouldn't be bad. I could also see All In like directly affecting All Out for the majority of the card.
Yep.
Because you're not going to have many people that, if they're only buying one of the 2, they're buying All In. But you're probably not getting a ton of people that are not buying All In that are going to buy All Out. So you don't have to worry as much. Most of your people that are going to buy All Out are going to be watching All In. So use it to set some stuff up. Like you want to see some cool fallout from whatever happens on that first Sunday. And you probably end up with something pretty good.
That's fair. Yeah. I want it to be just off the wall bonkers. I just want it to be off the wall bonkers, good time.
Yeah.
Like maybe you make that all gimmick matches. Like to your point, like you had that idea. Like let's just make it like just go for it. Who cares?
Call it the fuck it. It's a fucking pay-per-view. It's a week after your biggest show, the biggest wrestling show ever produced, right? Fuck it. Just have fun.
You do a gimmick on the Dynamite in between the 2 where Tony Khan walks out and is like, my office door is open. I've got open contracts sitting on the table. Just write down who you want to fight and we'll make it happen on Sunday. And, setting up random dream matches.
Right.
With that, like, if you're not continuing stories, then cool. Just do your entire night of like, here's some shit you'll pay $50.
Now they do have a couple that they've already kind of earmarked for All Out. So, but I think both of those are going to be fine enough matches. You know, TNT title and Miro versus Hobbs. But to keep it from being like the JV, I hate to say it like that because I love Miro, but to keep it from being like the JV pay-per-view,
yeah, that's
crazy.
That's the only thing that would not be ideal is using All Out to feature predominantly talent that weren't on All In, just because you're basically sitting your biggest acts at home.
When you're going to be in the United Center in Chicago.
So yeah, you're definitely going to get punked. I would imagine, I would be interested to see if the Elite are on that show.
Well, we got a couple weeks to find out. So
that's a good point.
We had good fun tonight, even though there might have been some mild arguments, many disagreements. But as is the theme, that's fine. You can disagree on things.
It's fine.
You know, it's fine. You can have different opinions, even if yours is right or wrong. Doesn't matter, right? You can have your own things.
Correct.
There's no reason to be hostile about it or whatever. So, as Jamie's often said, be better. You know, just be better, y'all.
Yeah. He made reference to the Saudi blood money. It's like similar to the SEC blood money, so it's all good, you know.
Blood money's blood money. It's still money.
Reach.
That's where we're gonna leave it on here. So, also, if you hadn't seen, please join back in because we will have more stashes of knowledge coming up here. I'm gonna keep tweaking it too, Austin. I'm gonna make it look real.
Dude, I thought it was great, but do your magic, man.
Yeah, I'm gonna tweak with like the transition. Anyway, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. We appreciate you guys giving us some of your time here. If this is your first time here, we hope to see you back. Hit the follow, like, subscribe. It helps us out quite a bit, honestly. Comment down below. Hit us up on Twitter. And we will see you guys, same bad time, same bad channel, next week. Jamie, take us home, man.
Before I do not forget, hit that notification button so you will know when we go live, because we have these and we also have interviews I'll be dropping as well. Get notified when we are up and going. But please hit that like and subscribe. It does help us out a lot. All right, ladies and gentlemen, if you're not down with Total Spotfest, I got 3 words for you.
2 weeks in a row, I guess this right.
Joker Sting sucks.
Again, you can have opinions. It's okay. We'll see you guys next week.
Peace.